Okay, Opa.
All right.
Welcome everybody to our Asian American and Pacific Islander Heritage Month spotlight. And today we are spotlighting my big brother, Peter Lee from Aurora. Hi, Peter.
Hi, how are you,
Um,
Priscilla?
I'm good. Thank you so much for taking time out of your busy day to share more about yourself and allowing us to highlight you. So before we start, I'm going to share a little bit about your bio. It's very impressive. So my brother, Peter Lee, is a health insurance broker here in Colorado. You work for one of the largest Korean-owned insurance brokers in the United States. Actually, it's worldwide. Um, and we have known each other, I've lost count, almost 15 years, I think, maybe. And you have been working very strongly in the census work, not only 2010, but currently with the 2020 census. And you helped found the Complete Count Committee here in Colorado. And you are also you got your degree in accounting from CU Denver. Go Lynx.
Yes.
You're Lynx. And you are originally from Seoul, Korea. And while you were there, you were in the Korean Army. Very impressive. So you have a lot of discipline, right? And you were on the on the Secretary of Governor's Asian Pacific American Advisory Council and co-chair for the Aurora Asian Pacific Community Partnership, and you were president of the National Unification Advisory, where we've done some work together with bringing North and South Korea together, and that's a lot of big work there. And you have been president of the Rocky Mountain Korean Lions Club, and you serve as a volunteer on the board for the heritage camps, which we do a lot of that work in the summertime together as well. And one committee that you're working on that I find very important is the Aurora Korean War Veterans Memorial. And you've
Yes.
been working for many years to raise thousands and thousands of dollars
I
to
just $500,000.
$500,000 to raise for that memorial. And so we're getting there.
Mhm.
And let's see, the Aurora Koreatown Project. That's the
Koreatown,
consortium
yeah.
committee that you are on. And then finally, you are on the advisory board for the Aurora Sister Cities Committee. And so
Yeah,
you've been
just the
working,
committee member.
you're a committee member working with the mayor, before Mayor Hogan and now Mayor Kaufman, to continue to strengthen our bond between Aurora and Seongnam Sister City.
Yes.
So wow, that's just a little bit
Mhm.
about you. And you were also an usher in my wedding.
Oh, from your mother, yes.
Yes.
It was an
So
honor. It was an
so
honor.
yes. So
Mhm.
you, when I call you my brother,
Mhm.
you really are my brother, Peter. So I'm just excited to have you here. You and your wife work your insurance business together, and tell me more about how you got involved in health insurance.
Well, I am a former banker. Worked for good old Colorado National Bank back in '90s, and kind of moved to the Vectra Bank, currently existed in Colorado. Well, after about 18, 19 years of a banking career, I wanted to have my own Asian bank. So I kind of got out of there to start learning the loan side, SBA side, and then the 2008 happened. Subprime happened, so everything crashed. So I, kind of figure myself in, and then start doing the financial services. While I'm doing that, the Affordable Care Act was introduced back in 2001, and then since I'm having a license, I kind of knows enough to kind of see what's going on in the state exchange as an Asian community representative, like a volunteer position, and find out that there's a significant issues of outreach for the all the Americans, especially in Colorado, to know about the ACA, the law itself. So I participated in the process of getting some funding to outreach the Asian community. Got some funding, but that wasn't good enough for me to really have a full-time job. So I decided to just run as the health insurance agent. A lot of Asian population here in Colorado have small businesses and tends to have not have a health insurance, which cause them to file bankruptcies and so on and so forth. Even though they do have sizable income or a sizable asset, those are not being protected because of the lack of health insurance. So I was really impressed about how the SCA can help the small minority on the way of the American life. You make money, pay tax. If you don't make a whole lot of money, then you get some help, but eventually you'll make a whole lot more money and pay taxes, just like everybody else is. So I was doing a lot of education for the my clientels. Consist of Koreans and Chinese and Vietnamese and some of the Ethiopian and Sub-Saharan population here in Aurora. So it was actually a very good experiences for me because I worked 16 hours a day for 6 months in 2013, 2014, and after 6 months of work, the financial reward is, very good also. So to me, this is a win-win for both helping community and then helping your family. So ever since, that's the history right now, and I'm continuing on. So this is my seventh year, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. Yeah, seventh year. Then on top of that, I add some financial planning tools so people can get protected from the not just from the bone to death. So I do a lot of time planning at this point.
It's amazing. You came to the United States as an adult, and you could have just, found your business and kept to yourself. But instead, you not only have become an entrepreneur and a businessman, but you're also extremely involved in many areas of the community. Also in your church as a deacon, is that right?
Elder?
Elder at your church.
I'm not that old, but
Um, so you're involved in the church community, which in the Korean community is another very integral part of who we are as Koreans. But getting involved in sister cities, getting involved with the war memorial, getting involved with heritage camps for adoptees. Why did you decide to use your voice in so many different ways?
well, first of all, there was a blessing that I had a time, and I have maybe this is a God-given talent that God made me to do this in this way. But then, I don't, per se play golf or doing other things a lot of Korean guys or men do that they think is important. But to me, if I were to play a golf, then I cannot do the things that I wanted to do. So I just falling into that track. But more importantly, as a immigrant, I came to United States back in well, let's not go there. But when I was 25 years old, let's just put it that way. After become a citizen, married to my wife, and then having two children of my own, son and daughter. As they growing up, I thought about this. Peter Lee, myself from South Korea, immigrants. And my kids going to be the citizen of this country. Who are they going to look up to? If I'm not the one that they're gonna look up to, then I'm gonna have to find somebody. Uh, but then again, well, why not me? I want to live as a U.S. citizen, as a proud and as a proud immigrant son and daughters, as my parents suffer through their time to have us come down here and help us out, to sustain this lifestyle. So, this is all about, do your duties. If you want some changes, Well, you gotta start it from yourself. If you want something from this society, then you need to come get it. You're the one that has to make differences, and then if you see something is not right, then if you're not doing it, then don't expect anything to be changed. So, based on the principle, I want to make sure that I do my part, whether it's a small thing or a big thing. If I can help my my fellow Americans, and making this great country to be prosperous, because this is where my grandkids and my great grandkids going to stay, and hopefully being prosper with the responsibility. So I think it's all come from yourself, and I'm firmly believe that.
Well, you live that. I've seen you over the past many years, and I've never seen you say no to anything. You always find a way and make a way to be involved and to give of your time and your resources and your advice. You have a lot of wisdom. And I think that's really good advice for any parent to ask themselves, why not me? Why am I not, why shouldn't I be the hero for my children, for them to look up to? I want to conduct myself in a way that my child sees respect and integrity and all of those things. So I'm really proud of you, Opa, for being example and being a leader. Even for me, I watch you and I think, man, I got to keep up with Peter.
Uh-oh.
Although
You're doing your share, you're doing your share.
I think we're stronger together, when we work together. Um, so as a Korean immigrant, and you see the adoptees when we're working with the heritage camps, what does that mean to you when you every summer go up there and you spend the week and you're volunteering? What does that mean to you?
Wow, that's the it's a sad to say, this year there's no adopters camp, or Korean adopters camp, or Korean heritage camp, out of 27, 28 years now. I started volunteering back in 1996. My son was only not even a year old, and I went to the Granby Snow Mountain Ranch YMCA, and then I still remember, so much fun that I have, going with a bunch of Korean young men and women, and having to do this heartfelt, good volunteer work, and then have a lot of fun, and that kind of hooked me to the heritage camp ever since. So I'm proud to say that I haven't missed one since '96, but I'm gonna be missed it this year because there's no the camp because COVID-19. But to me, the heritage camp is like something that like summer vacation, short summer vacation with the bit of responsibility here and there. Having to meet all these great kids and parents, and this is another place for me to really learn the parenting. What the parenting is all about. When I interact with the adopted parents, and their heart is so much bigger than mine. They have the courage to adopt the kids from 6,000 miles away, not knowing who they're gonna get, and going through all these issues that they still want to be the good parents, and that's why they come. And I think Heritage Camp, to me, Heritage Camp is a place that I learn how to be a person and parents, and then also how to have fun while you're serving, and also the give me the a lot of educations and training on myself to maybe working with the people, because when you're working with the people, with the volunteers, and all they want is to volunteer, but there's so much other things to taking care of. It got me thinking that, oh, this is something that I can just simply just do it. This is something that has to be thought of, and think about the human psychology, and because in the 20 some odd years, I've seen all kinds of volunteers. They all came in with a good heart, but Some do complain, some very, devout and, humble. But all those experiences, I can never take it away. This is something that, grave into me. So to me, is going to camp is beneficial for me and my family. That grows me as a better person, better parents.
We go to give, but then when we go, we realize how much we get in return, how
Yes.
fulfilling it is. And we just want to send our love
Mhm.
to everybody at Heritage Camps and the
Mhm.
families who look forward to this 1 week.
Mhm.
It means a lot to them. And so we just want to send our love to them.
Yeah.
So another thing I want to talk to you about is your work with the Unification. My mom was 12 years old when the war started,
Yep.
so she remembers a unified Korea.
Yep.
And so I can imagine being a middle schooler and having your world turned upside down, and
Mhm.
war, and having to walk over dead bodies, and starving and freezing and all of those things. We're going through a pandemic right now, but nothing like a war when you're seeing
Yep.
bombs and death and right in
Mhm.
front of your eyes. And
Mhm.
so why is this work important for you and your generation to work on this unification project?
Well, the Korea, this day and age, one country does something, it affects a lot of different, whole world. But as a Korean, we have a forever indebtedness from U.S. and UN. If there's no UN participation in Korean War, myself and my family may not be standing here in this country. That include my father. My father was a Korean War veteran. He served as the Marine, Korean Marine, and he was able to survive that war because the UN participation and helping the small this country of size of maybe one third of Colorado. Okay, with the right now it's a 50 million people, but back then a lot less. This is a country used to get aid from all over the world back in 60s and 50s. Now the country, that only country that used to get the aid, the giving out the aid to the all the everybody in the world. Especially, we just got some COVID-19 test kit from South Korea, 150,000 of them into the Colorado, for what, 2 weeks ago, right? Colorado become one of the country that actually have a lot of technology powers, automakers and computer chips and TVs and household items and all these things cannot happen when U.S. you know didn't decide to come to Korea to save us. So for that, I'd like to expand that. The North Korea as it is, the most poorest country, and have a 20 some odd million people out there. They're suffering because of human rights being violated. But they're also developing nuclear weapons. The small country can be threat to a lot of people, not just surrounding country, but even U.S. The unification can be the solution to get rid of the nuclear weapons, so the people in U.S. can be safer. So it's not just about the me Korean as a something that we have to do as a Korean, but it has to be a world citizens' responsibility to make that happen. The human right violation is so horrible. I mean, we're talking, 2020. People still dying from hunger. That's unheard of, but it's happening. So something got to be done. And why do we here in this country? As an American citizen, but love the other country because one of the greatest thing about living in America, you get to be a world citizen. You get to know the Ethiopian food, and I love the taco truck, and you name it. So you know, the unification is one of those things that I looking back from my mother country, this is something that has to happen. But that's because not because of my mother country, but it's because as an American citizen. Because we have a tie to some Korean governments and American government. We're in the perfect a link between two to make this thing happen. So I think that work is very important for all of us.
I can hear the passion in your voice when you're talking about this, and it's our hope and prayer. You know, my mother's 82. I pray that she will one day see a unified Korea. So thank you for your work in doing that. So before I let you go, Oppa, what is something during this time that is bringing you joy? What's putting a smile on your face?
Wow. Having 3 times a day the meal from my wife. She may not like it, but that's how I'm getting right now. I didn't ever go to a restaurant for ages. For my line of work, I get to go to eat out, lunch and dinner and so many of meetings and but get having my wife's great meal, that's been a blessing. She may not think she is a blessing, but it was a blessing for me. But I can't wait to get out of the house, and I just can't wait out to go see my clients and see how they're doing and see what I can help with. But this COVID-19 give us the different perspective of life. So you gotta embrace what we have missed, and make sure that when you go back to normal, you gotta think about those things that we take for granted. Okay, so this is a good opportunity. But well, for you, I know you gotta work hard for your campaigning stuff, but this doesn't make it happen. So maybe at some point, any can help you to make sure that Asian American become one of the state level,
Board.
electeds,
Yeah. I appreciate that. You're so funny, Oppa. Your sense of humor. Can she hear you talking about her
No,
cooking?
she's not here,
Not there. Okay.
Yeah, she's got to hear from someone else,
I'll
that's
make
the
sure
whole
she
point.
knows.
Yeah, she's got to hear from someone else, That way, she's like, oh, I was not kidding.
Yeah. So
If I
she knows
tell her he's kidding.
your wife is amazing. So how can, if someone needs health insurance, how can they contact you?
Wow. Usually people call me or text me 303-870-1290. But for the community, I do a lot of other consulting and counseling, from anywhere from Medicaid to the Medicare to college planning to retirement planning. That's how I, make my income, put the food on the table. But simply wants to do some volunteer here and there, because there's a lot of opportunity for volunteering. Right now, we are trying to push the last drop of the census completion campaigning right now. Anybody who knows the Asian who wants to make some extra bucks on this COVID-19 situation, please call us. And then if you know some Asian hard to count community members that who need help, you get to help them and you make some money. So please call me.
Wow, that's a great plug, a great reminder. So if families need help with financial planning, insurance, or they know of someone who needs assistance with completing their census, please contact Peter Lee, and I will put your phone number on the chat when we're done. So thank you again, Oppa. 건강하세요.
Oh, thank you, Priscilla, and then good luck again. You got my vote. You got my district.
Thank you.
All right.
Okay, stay healthy.
Okay. Bye-bye.
Bye.